50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 513. Today is Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. Been a rough week. Been working out on the island, so been a tough one. A lot of driving, ugly day, and I feel like it's going to rain all weekend, kid. How the hell are you doing?
Yeah, it started raining today, Dale. It's been an ugly day, week so far. Been a little rough, about the same, but not looking forward for this week. Got the Final Four, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Got some UFL, got some, key marquee NBA matchups as well. So it's gonna be interesting, but outside not looking interesting.
Yeah, not outside. It's a perfect weekend to stay in. And of course, I got to do more traveling going up to Rhode Island this weekend. So it's a lot of traveling. But we got a great episode for you. Like Elvis said, a lot to look forward to. Final Four in San Antonio. We got the Florida Gators going up against who are they playing? They're playing had it right here in my notes. It's Duke and Houston, and then Auburn and Florida. We got MLB, only 5 games. 2 games already started here for Thursday. So we'll take a look at the rest of the slate. 6 games for tonight in the association. Knicks, absolute choke job last night. The woes continue against really good teams.
Real quick, Dale.
Yeah.
I was tempted last night, when you had that double-digit lead.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavs are still favored, minus 132, minus 2.5.
Yeah.
And I was like, should I take the Knicks right now plus money?
Nope.
I sprinkled on the Cavs money line.
Good. Smart man. Smart man. Yeah, the woes continue, so it doesn't look good. 9 big slate in the NHL. We got 9 games here. I got a few plays that will rattle off. And like Elvis said, UFL week 2. Can the Stallions bounce back? We will see a tough game here. They will take on Michigan Panthers. But I want to start and dedicate this episode 513 to one of the greatest of all time, Carmelo Anthony. Congratulations, my man. First ballot Hall of Famer, 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA. He was a top 75 player named in 2021. Born in New York City, right in our backyard. All McDonald's All-American. Then he goes on to Syracuse and goes and wins the national championship in his first year in 2003. Gets selected 3rd overall. Playing NBA Live with him and the Nuggets, that team was just, yeah. It's only right that if you're not watching live on YouTube, Elvis is putting his Denver Nugget Carmelo Anthony jersey. It's just beautiful. I don't know if you played NBA Live, but having Melo on the cover of NBA Live was one of the best games ever. Then him coming over to New York, that's when I was really getting into basketball. And man, Melo he's probably a top 5 player for me, or one of my favorite players of all time. And I'm just so happy for him. His son's going up and playing in Syracuse, so following his dad. Just happy for him, happy for the family, and it's much deserved. Carmelo Anthony, say what you want. Yeah, he never won a ring, but he's one of the best players of all time, and I'm glad he got into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't need to stress to you, Dale, how important Melo was to me. Everybody knows Carmelo's in my top 3. Say what you want. He's not a champion, yes, but we saw the Olympic career we had. We saw the NBA career we had. We can't deny scoring ability. Carmelo Anthony is one of the greatest scorers of all time. I understand just a couple podcasts ago I was whooping and hollering about James Harden. Carmelo Anthony, you can even go back to his rookie year, or even those early playoff battles with Kobe Bryant and them. Melo was at a young age duking it out with the best players in the league his rookie, sophomore, junior years in the NBA. Just go back and look at the tape. Melo was almost out shooting all of them. So I think you got people, don't give Melo enough credit. Yes, he didn't accomplish what some of these other guys in the same draft did, like Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Bosh. Won multiple rings. Yes, that's cool and all, but we can't deny the greatness of Carmelo Anthony. To me, in my opinion, he's one of the greatest scorers of all time, and I got him
Yeah.
top three.
Yeah, and the longevity as well. 19 seasons in the NBA, and I know people don't say, but it's not the NBA Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So you get credit for what you did in college, and let's not forget he's a 3-time Olympic champion as well for Team USA. So I'm happy for him. And yeah, I was actually talking to one of my buddies too the other day, and I was tongue in cheek and talking to him. I was like, James Harden, say what you want. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer as well. He's probably one of the greatest scorers of all. He's a top 5 shooting guard of all time.
Yeah, and then some people want to debate if he's a point guard, he's a shooting guard. In my opinion, he's a 2.
Yeah.
He could make the case he's a 1.
Yeah.
Especially the past 6, 7, 8 years. Yeah, you can make the case he's a 1. But we can't deny James Harden's scoring ability. Same with Melo. One of the both. But we're not gonna take Melo's moment away. Melo is gonna go down as one of the greatest scorers of the basketball of all time.
And in the gym, Hoodie Melo was unguardable.
Yeah,
no. Truthfully, you couldn't guard him.
It was kind of generational because only our generation knows about Hoodie Melo. It's not like it's a thing. A small generation knows Hoodie Melo.
If he put the hood on, it was over. No, you weren't getting the ball, and 2, he wasn't missing.
Man,
that turnaround in the post was so clean.
That just pull up, shoot, one dribble, shoot at the elbow. It's just almost automatic. Those. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I can't lie. Like the 2013, 2014, 2015 season. It
legendary.
Was it was legendary. I didn't, accomplish much, but the game. No, I'm just being honest. The games were electric at the Garden for those 3 years. Electric. I can't deny it.
Yeah, so happy for Melo, and I just wanted to start there because he is one of my favorite, and honestly, both of ours. He's a top 3 player for Elvis. He's a top 5 for me. So wanted to give him his shine. So congrats to Melo.
I know a lot of people laugh when I tell them my top 3, but I'm dead serious.
No, I know.
It's Vince Carter, Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith. LeBron don't count. Kobe don't count. Jordan don't count.
2 of the 3 Hall of Famers.
J.R. Smith is going to get it. He's going to get it.
No.
He's going to get it.
We'll table that topic for another day. But I do want to circle back because that's the only thing I really had. Oh, no, actually, we'll stay on the NBA because there were some shutdowns and actively they're tanking. So we had Joel Embiid. He decided to get an arthroscopic surgery on his left knee that's been bothering him. I guess my question to you is, it's been bothering him for 3-4 months, basically the whole year, maybe last year in the playoffs with the Knicks.
Year. Yeah.
So my question, he got it evaluated. The doctor said it's fucked up. He went and got another opinion. They said it was fucked up. He was like, okay, it actually might be fucked up. And now they're waiting another month until after they shut him down. They said, oh, well, now you need surgery. I don't understand. This is going to be a second surgery on that left knee in over 14 months. Why the delay?
That one is a little out my realm. I'm gonna be honest. I understand people get second opinions, possibly even third opinions on occasions, but maybe he was told he could pay through it. Yeah. And that what did he do last year in the playoffs? He was lipping up and down the court,
giving us 50.
What exactly? He still gave you guys 50 on one leg. Mm-hmm. So maybe not the first doctor, but the second doctor was like, you know what? It can't get any worse.
That's a fact.
And maybe that was a fact. Maybe that was true. It couldn't get any worse. But maybe now, for playing on the way he did, it's not getting any better. So you're gonna have to surgically repair it. So I just hope it doesn't, linger. Like, because this honestly, he's been dealing with this injury for a year plus now. Yeah. We saw it from the beginning, late last season, first round of the playoffs against your Knicks, and we just saw it throughout this whole season. How many games did Joel play? Less than 30?
Something like that. Yeah. I don't have the number in front of me, but yeah, it wasn't a lot. And
It
even
wasn't
the game,
much. Yeah.
yeah. And the games that he did play, there were some games that he was good. He wasn't able to play back to backs, which hurt his team. And then today, they shut down Tyrese Maxey. He has that finger issue. So he's been sidelined since March 3rd. So literally a month to the date. He's in rehab, but he's still dealing, apparently to Shams, he's still dealing with discomfort, excuse me, and needs more treatment. So, I mean, they're three all-stars. Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey have all been ruled out. Maxey, he's having a career year. He's averaging 26 points, 26.3 points in 52 games, while he's also leading the league in minutes played. He's averaging 38 minutes a night. I don't think that has anything to do with it. We know Nick Nurse does like to play his players, but three all-stars right now, they have the fifth worst record. They've lost 9 games in a row. They're actively tanking, and they're trying to go and get Cooper Flag. And why wouldn't you if he winds up going to the draft?
If it's not Cooper Flag, it's gonna be a talent out there. We saw a bunch of players that's capable of getting drafted in just this tournament run early on, and I think honestly the way the Philadelphia 76ers are positioning themselves right now with tanking for the remainder of the season, I think they can possibly lock in a top 5 pick, and if the ball bounced their way, potential lottery pick, potential second or third overall pick. For Maxi, I went like this. I think if they were in any contention for the
He
play-in
would
or
have
something,
played. Yeah,
he
yeah.
would have
I
played. At
get
the
it.
end of
And
the day, it's a
I think,
finger.
yeah, and I also think the same thing for Joel Embiid. I think he would have, if they were in playoff contention and fighting for a spot or locked into, like, say, a third or fourth seed, he would have played, and I think he would have gotten surgery in the off season. So, no, I agree to your point, but there's nothing to play for. It makes sense to shut them down. I just don't understand, I guess, the question to you, and maybe you don't have the answer. Why wait this long? We knew you needed surgery, and we knew from the start of the season you guys weren't going to make the playoffs. Why wait? You
That
don't
one,
have the answer. I know. I'm just like casually asking a
yeah,
question, but
that one, like I said earlier, I just feel like the second opinion that he got was like, you know what, you could play on it. It's not gonna heal, but it's not gonna get any worse. And now for it to get any better, you're gonna have to surgically repair it. That's
my
just
thing
my own
though
opinion.
with that though is this is his second surgery on that left knee in 14 months. Do you really trust an aging Joel Embiid at this point? We can't confidently sit here on April 3rd, 2025 and sit here and say, yeah, Joel Embiid's another guy that could give you 50 a night. No, he's past that.
I'm not gonna say he's past that because he's just 2 years removed from his MVP, but
Questionably MVP.
it's hard to deny what you're saying. As of right now, like you said, on April 3rd, it's hard to deny your claims. Do I think you're wrong? Yes, but can I prove you wrong right now? No. So at the moment, you could be right, Dylan. I just honestly think you're wrong. I still think Joel Embiid is still a top 5 player when healthy. It's just when is he gonna be healthy?
Yeah, and we will not know. Another team that's kind of shutting thing down, which is just a terrible organization as well. The New Orleans Pelicans. They have the fourth best odds right now to get a top 5 pick. They're shutting down CJ McCollum and Zion Williamson. And I think it's another thing where if they were in playoff contention, hey, they would probably give it a go. But they're not. There's no reason to play them. CJ McCollum, I'm speaking for myself. I think he's on the tail end of his career. Zion, say what you want about him. I don't want to call him a bust just yet, but I want to see him in a good organization. That is what I really want to see because he needs to get out of New Orleans. He needs to be in a big market.
Yeah, definitely a bigger market. I think he needs to. You know, I highly doubt it, but you know what would be a great spot just for a little while for Zion because I think it will better his career. Miami Heat and Pat Riley. Get him under Pat Riley. Get him
They
under
just
Ted.
lost Jimmy.
It makes sense. They got a ton of cap. Hey, I highly doubt they could pull it off, but I feel like if anybody could get the best out of Zion, it's gonna be Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley. But I could be totally wrong, and they might just sabotage the kid. Who knows? But I think moving forward, I agree with you 100%. Though, if we're gonna to see the best of Zion Williamson, I think we're gonna have to see it in a different uniform.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's backtrack because I did want to start in the NBA. Usually we start in the NFL, but league meetings have been going on. By the way, did you see the picture of all the coaches in the room? You know how they usually have all those pictures. Dan Campbell, huge polo guy. It's not one of those tight ones like Sean McVay where he's a big polo guy.
3X, 4X.
And honestly, I love it because that just looks like Dan Campbell. So
yeah,
I love it. But we had some rule changes, some new I guess things that are going to be implemented for next year. We'll start with the tush push. So it did have some support, which is insane to me, within the committee to be banned. But the NFL owners, they've tabled the conversation to a later date. No decision about its future was made at this meeting. My thing is, learn how to stop it. That's how you get rid of it. And you know what's funny? The Bills were one of these teams that wanted to get rid of it. The Bills were one of the second highest team to run it. They just didn't do it perfectively. The reason I think Philly is so good, and from speaking to Philly fans, they practice it. They got in a rugby coach to show them how to leverage yourself. Jalen Hurts is great at it. They have a top 5, and I'm being mean. I think they have a top 3 offensive line in the league. That is why they're so successful at it. My problem is, stop talking about it. It's kind of annoying at this point. They sound like a bunch of crybabies.
All right, I'm not a fan of the tush push, but I can see both sides of it. You know, do I think it deserves to get banned? No. But do I think it deserves to be called? No. I agree with you. If you got a problem with it, stop it. But my thing is, if only one team in the NFL has a 90+ success rate on one specific play, does that team has an advantage that any other team in the NFL has?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
So you don't think a team that could run a play more efficient than any other team in the NFL is doesn't have an advantage? I think it's an advantage.
I'll give you an example. When I played football in 7th grade,
I don't want to hear an example.
No.
I just want to know if
I don't
the
think
Eagles
so.
have an advantage. All right, simple question.
Yeah.
Do the Philadelphia Eagles have a advantage than any other team in the NFL has at the 5 and goal line?
I don't think so. No, because if they're practicing it right and they're making it a point every day, at least get some reps in, and you know the upcoming week, hey, the Lions, the Patriots, they're going to do it. Let's just say 5 times a game. Let's just use a fake number. You should be practicing how to stop it.
I understand that. I'm just
real
saying,
quick,
like
real
said,
quick, real quick, and I'll let you go. My thing is, we knew growing up, we played this team, Cedar Grove. You know them. We played them, and they only ran 5 plays. We knew what 5 plays they did, but they perfected them. That doesn't mean they have an advantage over us. They just chose to run 5 plays, and they whooped our ass. We knew what was coming, but we couldn't stop it because they were so good. We tried. We knew what they were going to do, but I don't think they have an advantage. I just think they perfected a play, and I think everyone else is mad. My opinion.
That's why I understand both sides from it. I hate it or love it. I think the tush push, if every team could run it at a successful rate as the Eagles, nobody would have nobody would have an issue.
Yeah, 100%.
It wouldn't be an issue.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I'm just saying it from both sides. In my opinion, like I said, I don't think it should be banned. But in my opinion, the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think it's a big part of it is Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, could squat 600 pounds.
Yeah.
They're the only team that could pull it off at a highly successful rate. That's my thing.
Because they practice it.
Yeah,
The Bills don't practice it, and they just think they could run it, but
they
not correctly.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we've seen other teams attempt it and they can't execute it.
Yeah. And I think another reason, from listening to other coaches, Sean McVay, from what they have said, the reason they want it out of the game is because it's not a pure football play. Now, if you want to go strictly on that, I understand that more than just wanting to ban a play, because it is more of a rugby play. I understand that.
Another thing, we saw it in the NFC Championship game where the refs had to tell the other team, if you do this again, we're going to automatically give the team a touchdown. Moving forward, would you want to see that happen more often than not? See, this is what it comes down to.
It's funny because I've never heard the refs say that. So
that's the whole point. So if it comes down to in-game scenarios and refs doing and making rules that we never seen before, doesn't that ultimately means that this team has a specific advantage at the goal line than any other team has?
I think for that instance that you were just saying, I think they were just so tired of jumping off sides. They're like, listen, they're gonna get in anyway.
That's the only way any team in the NFL, in my opinion, is gonna be able to stop it on 3 times. If the Eagles go, let's just say, get at the 2-yard line, first and second, right? First at the 2-yard line. There's a 99% chance Jalen Hurts is gonna run it in for a touchdown. No matter what you do, in those 3 attempts or even 4 attempts, the Eagles are going to eventually punch it in. I'm not able to say that with any other team in the NFL. We saw the Buffalo Bills fail multiple times.
You being a Patriot fan, quarterback sneak, and Tom Brady was the most successful person doing that.
Yeah, quarterback sneak, not a
It's kind
push. It's not the same.
No, but it's a rugby version of it, I would argue. But regardless,
if it's a rugby version of it, what does that make it at the end of the day?
And that's what I'm saying. If they went on that stand and said, listen, the reason we want it banned is not because we can't stop it. I think that's why people want it banned, because they can't stop it. But if they want to use the argument,
I don't think it's because they can't.
No, they
stop
can.
It.
They can't. That's the reason.
No, I'm not saying that's the only. I'm saying because they can't also execute it. If every team in the NFL was able to do it at the rate successfully the Eagles can, it wouldn't be an issue, because every team will be able to do it.
I got it. They're all billion-dollar organizations, right? Like all the owners are billionaires, right? At this point in their life. What is stopping every other team? Let's just use the Bills because they did use it the second most or attempt to. What's stopping their ownership from bringing in a rugby guy and trying to perfect it? If that's their goal, which the numbers are saying they run it a lot, but not effectively, what is stopping them from perfecting it?
I think you're missing one huge piece to the puzzle.
Let me hear it.
A quarterback that could squat 600 pounds.
Josh Allen is a massive human being.
And
he might not squat 600, but he is just as big as Jalen Hurts.
And how many times we saw Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, fail at that?
And my point exactly. Bringing guys, if that is what your goal is, which you're telling me it is on the field, that you run it and you want to perfect it or at least get it down to be effective, you need to bring guys in. The Eagles are bringing guys in specifically to help that. They're smart.
One last question before we move ahead, because I think we've been a little too long on this subject.
I agree.
Moving forward, right?
Yeah, moving forward.
Would you want the tush push to decide games, division round, NFC Championship, AFC Championship, Super Bowls?
I don't mind. No, I don't mind.
See, I mind that.
No, I don't mind, because
score. You know, don't tush push it in from the 6-yard line 4 attempts. That's what's gonna come down to. If you're saying bring in a guy, you gotta be careful what you ask for, Dylan. You're telling every team in the NFL, or you're a billionaire, bring in a guy, so every team could run a 90% plus successful rate tush push. I don't want to see that as an NFL fan.
That's fair. And maybe let's exclude the whole state of Pennsylvania or Philly area. what do you think the percentage of people who feel like you compared to, if it comes down to it and they're going to run it, they're going to run it regardless. That's kind of my stance.
No, but they could run it regardless, but we all know, and I think you would even agree, no other team is going to be able to execute it at the level the Philadelphia.
I agree. We'll see. But I am glad that no decision has been.
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't be
Yeah.
banned, but I also don't want every team.
There needs to be
adapting.
a line. I think we could come to an agreement. There needs to be a line. I agree with that.
You can't do it more than 2 times in a row. At least something.
Yeah. Or you know how they did it in baseball? You can't throw over more than 2 times in a row. Then you have to throw to the plate.
Yeah,
Something like that.
You can't do tush pushes 2 plays in a row.
Okay,
you're gonna have to at least tush push, runner pass, and then attempt another tush push. See,
we're coming. We're coming to a common ground.
NFL, hit us up.
I'm down. The NFL owners, they also passed a rule where both teams will be allowed to possess the ball in overtime in the regular season. Yeah, so the original proposal was for 15 minutes in OT. It went down to 10 minutes, which I think is fair because the game gets too long as it is. But I'm glad. I mean, it does suck because sometimes you don't even have an opportunity to score or tie the game.
Yeah, in my opinion, I would have personally been fine with just playoffs, but we're seeing where, especially some games down the stretch where, playoff implications, seeding, you want both teams to at least to have the ball. So I understand it for the regular season, but me personally, I would have been fine just leaving it as the playoffs, as it should be. No playoff game should be decided because one team got the ball first.
The kickoff proposal was also changed. That was separated into 2 votes, one passed and one that was tabled. The football one that was passed, the football will move to the 35-yard line after a touchback. That rule passed. So with the touchback, I think the NFL, what they came out and from listening to what people are writing, the NFL is basically projecting an increase in return rate. And last year, can you guess how many kicks were returned in 2024?
Kick returns with punts or just kick returns?
No, just kick returns, not punts.
7.
33%. That is very low. So now they're projecting with this move to the 35-yard line. Guess what they're projecting in 2025? How many returns we see?
If we got 33 last year, and that felt very personally, I can't even remember that many.
That's my thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that number's off. By the way, I'm gonna say 40%.
They're projecting 60 to 70%. Now it could be right and it could be way off, but that is what they're projecting. The smart people in 2025. There are some downstream aspects
they're projecting 60-70% of games are going over.
Yeah, or returns and more action. And field position, obviously scoring, game management, when you add that many yards into a play. And I like it. No vote at the time of the meeting on the onside kick modification. They will pick that up in May with the tush push. But what do you think moving it to the 35-yard line?
At the end of the day, I feel like last year was I'm gonna just say a down season for the kicking game.
100%.
So I'm glad that these righting their wrongs and not waiting 5 years to do so. So I'm glad that they're listening to the fans. And you know what? Let's make some adjustments now before this really becomes an issue.
Yeah, and also we're getting cameras and we're getting measuring for the first downs. It's going to be switched to camera-based technology in 2025 from the chain gang.
Wait, real quick. I don't like the fact that there's still going to be guys out there holding the chain.
Yes, so the traditional chain gang will remain on the sideline as a secondary option just to double check it. But their first instinct, instead of going to a chain game, they're gonna go to the camera immediately. They're gonna try to switch the game up, which we saw in the end. It's quicker. And Buffalo got screwed. That was a first down.
Yeah, and like I said, if it comes down to it, let's just say the camera's malfunctioning or something like that.
They could double check
it. Chain gang come out.
I love the chain gang.
I just don't want nobody to lose a job. Shit.
Yes, and honestly, it's not football if we don't see the chain gang. I like those old guys.
Every first down.
Yeah,
move them up. What the camera gonna do?
Exactly. And then last thing, Christmas triple header. NFL, they're going to play 2 games on Netflix the day before Christmas, and then Christmas night, they're going to have a game on Amazon. So Christmas is going to be all NFL. We know that it was predominantly NBA growing up. That was kind of their day. Sorry, they're going to
now.
Yeah, competition now. And about 5-10 minutes before we went on, Geno Smith and the Raiders, they agree to a 2-year, $85.5 million extension, 66.5 guaranteed. You know, a lot of people were thinking, hey, this is just a one and done for Geno. No, they believe in him. They're going to give him the money. Hey, you got 2 years until we do something. And to be honest, the more we get closer, we're about 3 weeks away from the NFL draft. We are 21 days away. Hand up, I personally don't think Cleveland or the Giants are going to go quarterback now. I think they're going to go veteran.
One thing I can say is a lot of mock drafts are coming out, and quarterbacks are falling. Quarterbacks are falling.
They're not high.
Me personally, as a Patriots fan,
That's not good.
I need 2 quarterbacks to go in the top 3.
That's not good for you. Yeah.
Because Dua and Travis Hunter will be there at number 4. One of the 2 is guaranteed to be there if 2 quarterbacks go in the top 3.
I think you guys are going to get Travis Hunter. I really believe that. I think you guys are going to get Travis Hunter.
I understand. But if we get a duel with the additions we already made this offseason, with Baymore coming back at the defensive tackle, we run a 4-3, Dale. Things could be really interesting up in the Northeast.
I also, real quick, back on the Geno Smith, I like it because now sitting at, what do they sit? They got the 6th overall pick right before the Jets. I think they go Alshon Gentry, the Boise State running back, at number 6. He's the best running back in the country. If it wasn't for Travis Hunter, he was going to win the Heisman. That's not a debate. They don't have a running back. Yeah, you need that.
If Travis Hunter didn't play both ways, Gentry would have won the Heisman.
Yeah.
It's tough, because we saw they paid Crosby. I think you possibly want to set somebody up on the opposite side of him. Remember, they lost one of their D tackles as well last season to Miami. I think you go defensive side. Is it going to be somebody at number 6 that you're gonna don't want to reach too high for? We'll see about that, but you got Geno. Hey, maybe you want to add a weapon at number 6. I think a wide receiver this draft is a little too high for at number 6 for a wide receiver, but I think you go outside to pair somebody else alongside with Crosby. If I'm the Raiders,
you believe in Geno
for $42 million a year? I like Geno. Do I believe it? Do I think he's gonna win me a Super Bowl? No. But do I think Geno could win me 9-10 games and get me to the playoffs? Yeah. With the right pieces around him, absolutely.
Geno Smith or Sam Darnold?
From what I saw last season,
Sam
Darnold. From what I saw last season,
is that? But he's not going to have Kevin O'Connell.
I understand that, Dale, but let's just say last season.
All right, let's change the question. Yeah.
Who had a top 10 season last year? Sam Darnold or Geno Smith?
Sam Darnold. My question.
I'm just
all right.
My answer from last season.
Overall body of work of their career.
I like Geno Smith a little bit
more. Yeah, I would agree. That. All right. Let me change that question then.
Yeah.
Last year, that's fair. I think that is why I'm high on JJ McCarthy. I feel like I always bring up JJ McCarthy now, but
no, you always, and that's shocking that a team up north.
I know. Quarterback. It pains me to say it, but I think it's. I believe in Kevin O'Connell and the offense and the play calling and the weapons around him more than I believe in JJ. I believe 20 out of 25, 26 quarterbacks could thrive in that system. That is what I believe.
I'm not denying that. But let's just say if JJ went to the same situation Sammy D was in the Jets 7 years ago.
Oh, he's failing. Yeah.
That's my thing. Like you said, put 25 quarterbacks in that system, they're gonna most likely
Yeah.
be successful.
Yeah.
If anything, that we should have higher expectations for JJ McCarthy. We're saying 26 other quarterbacks can do his job.
I just think we saw what it was in college, where if you surround him with, in college, they had a top 5 defense. They had a great running back. They had a great offensive line. They had a great head coach. You surround him with a lot of good pieces, he is going to thrive, and he's a winner. He's not, his talent isn't insanely where it's a top 10, where it's like, wow, he's like Jaden Daniels, or where CJ Stroud came in and be like, wow, this kid's a top 10 quarterback already. No, he's not going to do that, but he's a winner, and he's going to win you 10, 11 games. So that's why I think the big drop off from 12 games to 8.5, we were talking about their win total last episode. I'm hammering the over. I don't have to see anything. I believe where Kevin O'Connell could be like, Brian Flores, you got the defense. We don't need to worry about it. We got the best receiver in the game. We got a run game. We have a good offensive line. JJ McCarthy is going to win you games. He's not going to turn the ball over. He didn't do it in college. Now, does he have an amazing arm? No, but he has a good enough arm to win you a lot of games and get you into the playoffs. That is what I believe.
I can't deny most of the things you just said, because the Vikings are a pretty damn good football team. All I'm saying is I don't know too many rookie quarterbacks who came in and won 9 games.
Jaden Daniels, CJ.
You're naming pretty damn great quarterbacks.
I know.
All I'm saying is I think JJ McCarthy I'm on record saying I'm not the biggest fan of him. I told people it was a lock. Him over 5.5 overall draft pick. He went 14, 16, whatever he went.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I'm not the biggest fan of JJ, but one thing I will give him is I do think he will be a little successful just because his draft class has been pretty successful their rookie year. You know, from Caleb, say what you want about Caleb, but from Caleb Williams to Bo Nix, they all played much better than I think 95% of people anticipated all those quarterbacks will play. I can make the case that was one of the best rookie quarterback draft class I've seen in my life.
At least in the last 10 years. Absolutely. Yeah. So, I don't know how we always talk about JJ. I can't wait. It has me itching. I'm itching for football again. I'm itching. Can't wait for the UFO week 2, baby. All right, kid. Before we get to our picks, we got a lot. Like I said, Final Four, MLB, NBA, NHL, UFO, ton of picks. But before we do, a quick word from our friends and our sponsors every week here at the Dream Wager is our friends over at Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. I need a couple Vivas after this week, all this drive. And it's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys, Masters starting on Monday, or new flavor jalapeno watching the Final Four, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. Kid, I know we passed April Fool's Day. I fucking hate that holiday, by the way. It's not even a holiday. I just think that's the lowest form of comedy out there. And I fell for something. Usually I'm like, oh, it's April. I'm usually my guard's up. Bro, Tiger out here tweeted, Achilles is all healed. I'm going to the Masters. I'm going to participate. I'm like, oh, Tiger. And then a couple
to make the cut.
Yeah. And then I fell for it. I felt like such a fucking loser. I hate fucking April Fool's Day. Did you get got this year?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I totally forgot it was a day. If I knew, I noticed too late. I would have faked a pregnancy on my mom or something. Yeah, why not?
So you like it? You think it's funny?
No.
I'm
just saying if I was in the mood, that's what I would have done.
All right, let's get on over to our picks. We will start in San Antonio, the Final Four, and we will start with Houston and Duke. Oh no, we'll start actually. Florida Auburn. That is the first game, 6 o'clock on Saturday. Florida laying 2.5, -157 on the money line, +137 for Bruce Pearl and the boys. Total 159.5. Total seems a little high for me, but Auburn. They One thing about Auburn though, they've played all the teams. They lost to Florida. They lost to Duke and they beat Houston earlier in the week. That's the only team that has been really kind of battle tested and has played all the really good teams. But what do you see here? Do they get their revenge here against Florida and go to the national championship?
I tell you one thing. I think Broom could have a big game. I'm eyeing his over 19.5 points. We saw him go down with an injury last game, come back in, still gave you buckets. But I think Florida advances. I'm not going to lay with Florida, but give me the Florida Gators, -146 on the money line. They're going to make it to the championship once again. I'm not sure if they're going to win it all, though. We're going to see the matchup, but I'm going to take the Gators to advance. I think Auburn had a pretty good run. They're just going against, in my opinion, a slightly better team. If Broom goes off, gives them a nice 30-10, 30-12 game, they have a shot, but those guards in Florida's deep, man. I think it's gonna be tough to overcome. Give me Florida -146.
Yeah, I think money's gonna come in on Auburn, maybe tomorrow or early Saturday before tip off. But I agree. I'm gonna take Florida. I laid the 2.5 at -110. I just think their depth, offensive rebounding, I think is going to be a real big issue here with Auburn. And you got the Twin Towers in. Walter Clayton Jr. is the best point guard in the country. He just takes tough shot after tough shot. He just carries Florida on their team. I would actually fade your play because I was actually eyeing Janon Broom under 19.5. Like you said, he did come off that injury. He's not practicing this whole week, Bruce Pearl said. I just think he's going to struggle here. Obviously, he's a top 5 player in the league, but I don't know, kid. I would fade him. I just think this is a bad matchup here. Even Cooper Flat, we'll talk about that, but I was even looking at his under 19.5 points against Houston. These are tough. In college, it's different. The physicality of these teams, like Houston and Auburn, have a bunch of dogs who have been there for 4 years, whereas Florida and Duke, they're younger teams. They're just extremely talented. So I think you can maybe wait and see and maybe get a better number, but I agree. I think Florida is the better team. I think they're going to be better on the glass. I think they have better front court pressure as well. And I worry about Broom. I don't think he's 100%. So I'm gonna lay it here with Florida minus the 2.5. Let's go to that Duke game, 8:49 p.m. on Saturday. Duke laying 5 here in San Antonio. Houston, kind of a home game for them. +5, +215 on the money line. Total 136.5. And I'll start with this one, kid. This really wasn't a tournament where you could take dogs. But I think this is a spot where you got to take a dog. I think the physicality of Houston, they play great defense. I've been on them since you've been disrespecting them. Let's call it what it was. You've been disrespecting them this season.
I'll be honest. I called them frauds.
Yeah, you called them out.
Frauds. I thought they were.
And listen,
credit to them. They proved me wrong.
I think this is too many points. I think they're going to bruise up Cooper Flag. I would take his under 19.5 points. He only had 18-19 against Alabama in a blowout. I even think the money line is live, kid. I think this is Houston's team. This is his best team he's had in quite a while. I think the defense is going to cause Cooper Flag. And they also have that other freshman. Forgot his name. I think it's Khan something or Kaman Mulch or Mulich. He's a 7'2" freshman. 7'2" as a guard. I mean, that's insane to me. I mean, they got talent, but I just think the physicality and the senior depth of this Houston team, they're going to make this a dog fight. And I don't think that's what Duke wants right now. So I'm going to take the points in my pocket. Would I be surprised if Duke won? No, but I am rooting for Houston. So I'm going to take Houston plus the 5 and sprinkle a little on that 215 money line.
First of all, I'm shocked from everything that just came out of your mouth, but I agree. You know what, we've been talking about how Duke has been the most impressive team thus far in this tournament, and I think they have been. But what we've been seeing, not just for the history of the tournament, we see these. Every now and then we see a young, talented freshman team win it all, but majority of the time it's a deep, you know, team that's been there and done that with sophomores, juniors, and seniors, not just top end with freshmen. I hate to say this. I think Houston's gonna prove me wrong. Though the year I called
Yeah,
them frauds
I know. I
is the
love it.
year they
I
might win it
love
all. I
it.
can't deny how well they've been playing,
Yeah.
and it comes down to it. Yes, Duke is a nice, sexy story, but
Hmm.
at the end of the day, we know when it comes to a national championship in the Final Four, experience wins. Houston is the much more experienced team. Give me the plus 5.5
I
with
love
Houston.
it.
Surprised I'm saying it, Dill, but I gotta agree with everything you said.
I love it. I love it. We'll have national championship picks on Monday after the games, but kid, I hope you're right. The only thing worrying about me
No,
worrying
I don't hope I'm right.
no, yeah, for that pick. But the only thing worrying me about our play, dogs have not been profitable at all.
But a top four team, is it really a dog?
No, but what did we say
I think
last
it's a
week?
difference when it's a 9 versus a 2.
No, that I
This is
agree
all
with.
four number ones.
I agree, but kid, what did we say? It had to been last week. Duke is the best team in the country. They're playing the best, and now we're picking to fade them.
I'm
I
not
worry.
fading them. I'm just saying we saw Duke have a tough task in rounds in Sweet 16, right? Houston, I think, like you said, gonna play him rough, gonna play him tough, and they're gonna keep it close. 5.5 is too many points in my opinion.
I agree. I think it's a 2-point game. I think 5 points.
It should
We
have
talk.
it should have been at least 3.
I thought it
Cause
should
I
have been the same
cause I,
spread, 2.5, like Florida and
yeah,
Auburn.
cause I feel like a lot of money, just not just faithful Duke, but all over a lot of bandwagon Duke fans out there is putting
Well, it
money in.
open it opened. We're starting to see it opened up at 6, so we are seeing money come in on Houston.
Yeah, cause it's too many points.
I agree. So we'll see. Should be really good games. And everyone who said, we wanted dogs. No, we don't. We got the 4 best teams in
Yeah.
the country. Let's be honest.
Mhm.
Let's stop kidding ourselves. We're gonna see really good games over the weekend. But kid, good luck. Should be really fun down in Houston. Let's go. Where do we want to go? Let's go to the Diamond. Let's skip around. Let's go to the Diamond. There were only 5 games on the board for today. 2 winded up already finishing up. I cash with Phillies -1.5. And your Red Sox, hey, you
Dog
guys
of
are
the day,
500, 8 and
plus
4.
109.
Yeah.
Plus 109. I'm 1-0 on the day. So I have one other pick you could fade if you want. 'Cause I am 1-0 already.
Real quick though, we got to continue to fade Charlie Morton. Uncle Charlie is 9.72 ERA for the Orioles. When they picked him up in the offseason, I said, this is the guy you got. I mean, he was good 10 years ago. I mean, he's not good anymore. No, he's not good, bro. He's not good. And against a good Red Sox team who spending money, Garrett Crochet, you gave him a lot. You traded for him. You said, listen, we traded for you. We're going to give you the money you deserve, which I agree he's worth every penny. And you gave the second baseman, the prospect who we talked about early, Christian Campbell. I think it's smart, Elvis, because you're paying him and you're getting a discount. Because if this guy blows up like
Rafael,
yes, or anybody, you guys are gonna have to break the bank and look. And this is what the problem you're dealing with, Rafael Devers. Now you can't pay him, or you can, but
that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm so happy we got this kid 8 years. I think we're underpaying him already.
Oh, I agree
already. But he was like, let's lock it in. He's a young man. He will get his 3, 4, 5, whatever, eventually. I guarantee it. Now, my only question to the Red Sox was, why you couldn't do this a few years ago with Rafael Devers? I understand it probably would have been 8 years, 64, but you could have given the man at least a 5, 150, something. We saw the potential his rookie year.
Yeah,
we knew what was coming down the pipeline, people. So maybe they're learning already. See how they're ready, righting their wrongs quick. trying to get something with Rafael, there was like, let's not make the same mistake with the young second baseman. So glad that they finally figured this thing out, but we gotta get Rafael in a long term deal.
Yeah,
Long term.
he shout out Rafael. It took him like 5, 6 games, but he finally got his first hit yesterday. Got a
Yeah.
double RBI double, but yeah, he's struggling out of the gate. But that kid Christian Campbell is a beast, and you see the potential. He made the team, and he's just starting second baseman. If you're choosing to have Alex Bregman play third and Rafael DH, the kid's ceiling is through the roof. The organization sees it, we see it, the Vegas sees it in the odds. So yeah, I'm glad. I think that was smart getting locking him in early. But all right, okay, let's get to it. 3 games for today. We got Minnesota Twins. They're hosting the Houston Astros. We got the Yankees. They're hosting Merrill Kelly and the Snakes. And we got the Brewers and the Reds. Nestor Cortez, I mean, you got to be better than what he had last time. 3 pitches, 3 home runs. Or Nick Lodolo and the Reds. So what's your one play?
Yeah, my one play is that Cincinnati Reds and Brewers game. You know, if you want to touch the sides, by all means, still, I caught a great number. I love it. I still like the over. But give me the over 7.5 at
Yeah.
minus 115. I still take the over 8. We saw Dela Cruz is on a run right now.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised he has another big game. Brew Crew at home. Hey, we saw both these pitchers didn't have a great outing last week. Like you said, highly doubt Nestor gives up 3 in a row. But wouldn't be surprised he gives up 1 or 2, Dale, but not in a row. Give me the over 7.5. I like the over 8 as well. And then I highly doubt the Yankees lose 3 straight in the Bronx. As a Red Sox fan, I would love to see it, but as a businessman, at minus 125, I understand Kelly's on the mound. That's tempting me not to take it. But the Yankees to lose 3 straight to the Arizona Diamondbacks, that's a tough pill to swallow right now. I'm so tempted to take the Yankees minus 125, but Merrill Kelly, man, I'm a little worried, so I'm gonna just stay
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, I would agree. Real quick, just to go on the game you were talking about, Reds Brewers over 7.5. That's insane. You know, Nestor Cortez, he was as bad as you could be, but the good thing about that is you can't get much worse. And I do expect him to be a little better. Reds, they're awful against left-handed pitchers to start the year. 167 through 6 games. They were shut out the other day against the Rangers, 1-0. So I don't know, but they did just put up 14 runs on Monday. So I do trust their offense. I do think we'll see some runs. So over 7.5, I would agree. But yeah, I'm taking the Snakes here. Minus 102. They're the better team. Maybe first 5 money line. Merrill Kelly was fantastic in his first start against the Cubs. Cookie Carrasco came in relief, 2 innings, but he gave up 3 runs on 5 hits to a Brewers offense. No disrespect, but they're nowhere near Arizona. Arizona, they have the better bullpen. They got the better starting pitcher, and I think they have a better offense right now. They're just as good as the Yankees. I trust Merrill Kelly way better. Think they're the better team. So I got plus 102. I think they should be the favorite right now. I am seeing plus 109. So
Yeah, I see plus 105. So shop around.
Yeah, shop around. But yeah, I do like the Snakes here, and I think the Twins just went live. If you want a live bet for anybody listening live, first 5
profit boost.
First 5 with Joe Ryan, Twins. I know Twins, they've been off to a cold start, but I mean, the Astros offense is abysmal right now. They haven't scored more than 3 runs all season. So maybe they're catching the Astros on a good time. But yeah, I'm going to fade them. I like Twins first 5. All right, okay, let's go back to the association. Like I said, we have 6 games here on Thursday. I'll shoot it over to you. I do have a couple plays as well. So what do we got?
I have a 2-way 6-point teaser. I start off right there. Memphis Grizzlies at Miami, taking on the Miami Heat. Grizzlies, it was at 4.5 earlier. Now it's at 5.5. So shop around. I'm gonna tease them down. I'm gonna play safe. I do expect them to take care of business, but new coach and all that. Gotta see how things work. But Miami, honestly, they've been winning some games lately, but still the Miami Heat. I'm gonna be safe. Give me Memphis, tease them down, and guess who I'm gonna tease up? Portland Trailblazers taking on the Toronto Raptors. Raptors won 4 out of the last 5. Portland lost 4 out of the last 5. Give me the Raptors. Tease them up to plus 10.5. I think they also are live dogs in this one. So like I said, people, we're just playing it safe. Give me the Grizzlies to +1 and then the Raptors to +10.5. And then my last game of the night, in my opinion, this might be a must-win game.
Mm.
Depending on the seeding, people, it all depends about matchups. And if I'm the Los Angeles Lakers,
Oh, good
one
game.
team I do not want to see in the first round is the Denver Nuggets still. And right now, that West is in the mix right now. You got Denver and the Lakers, same record. They're tied right now for third and fourth spot. And then the Golden State Warriors are in the fifth spot, and only a half a game separates them from the eighth spot. So Memphis could jump up, Golden State could jump out. It's gonna get interesting right there in that scenario. But Lakers taking on the Golden State Warriors tonight in the crypto arena. Lakers short favorites -112. I ended up catching them earlier. I do think the Lakers take care of business. I caught them -126 on the money line. Might take them again -112 on the money line. Yes, Golden State has been a horse since they acquired Jimmy, but at the end of the day, I think the Lakers are thinking of the bigger picture, and I think they need to hold on to that third overall seed. So give me the Lakers to take care of business tonight, -112 on the money line.
Real quick, it's so bad that the NBA, there's no like suspense. Like no one's really playing for anything. Like the East is all kind of wrapped up. Boston's not going to catch Cleveland. You know, is Toronto going to make it?
OKC
No.
has like a 13 game
They have
lead.
14.5 game lead. I mean, outside of Minnesota, LA, and Memphis, who are all tied for that 6 seed, 6, 7, and 8.
Clippers. Yeah, everybody's live, man.
It's,
Right now,
it's
Golden
boring
State.
to me. It's boring to me.
I
That's fair
understand why.
to say. That's fair to say, though.
There's the fact that the 3 through 6 seed are between 17 to 20 games behind. 8th seed is 20 games by. Is a little nuts. I give you that, but we can't deny how great the OKC Thunder have been this season. This might be the greatest OKC Thunder team we ever seen in our life. Still,
That's a fact. No, I would agree with that. It's just they're just too good. Like that. I think
we gotta
that's the
see.
problem.
We gotta see.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Heat +5.5 here. Memphis, they played a lot of basketball. They just got worn using the gun fingers. When do they learn? When does Ja learn? But they in all seriousness, they played a lot of games. They're 3-5 straight up in their last 8, 2-6 against the spread. When playing 6 games or more in the last 10 days. So I'm just not sure they're going to be able to take advantage of that. I think Miami's going to be advantage for them. They're going to take advantage of some tired legs. Miami 8-6 ATS as a home underdog this season. So I think at home catching 5.5 points, I think this is a really good spot. So yeah, I'm going to take them. And I would also sprinkle a little on the money line at +180. And then to your point, Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors. I mean, this is going to be the game of the night. One thing I think worth noting in this game is that the Warriors, they do have a really good matchup here against Los Angeles. I think Jimmy Butler's going to be able to, I mean, no one's can stop Luka, but I think he's going to limit him. Yeah, contained. Yeah, that's a better word. So
slow him down a bit.
I think Draymond's going to slow down LeBron, and Green, you know, he also is coming. He's a great defender. He has a great pick and roll as a defender as well, and on offense. And I just think their defense could blow up a lot of what the Lakers want to run. And I'm just not sure the Lakers have anybody to guard Curry. That's my problem. We just saw Curry go crazy the other night. Mm-hmm. So
and most likely it's going to be Austin Reeves on them, or if they start Jared Vanderbilt, which let's
be honest, they're nice players. I like both of them, but they can't guard Steph Curry. And I'm sure you could say that about a lot of teams, but the Lakers are in a bit of a mess when it comes to someone who could guard a really good guard. So I just don't expect a lot of threes from Curry, but I think Golden State could really match up well here. And I think Los Angeles needs to figure out their rim defense as well. I think losing AD was a really big blow to them. So I'm going to take Golden State here. I'm going to be on the opposite side. +103. It should be a really close game, but I am going to take Golden State here, +103 on the money line. Yeah, that's all I got for the NBA. By the way, did you see what happened with the whole Buddy Hield and Ja Morant with the whole. It's so
Buddy,
stupid.
Buddy went to snitch quick.
Yo, quick. And did you
But
see what Ja
regardless, the
Ja
cameras
said?
was catching him.
Yeah,
Regardless.
and Ja went on Twitter and he was just like Ja this, Ja that, and with the crying emoji. So he was having a little fun.
Which is funny.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I'm glad no one really got suspended this time around anyway. But all right, kid, let's go to the ice. We got 9 games here on Thursday night. Did you reach out to Cuddy? You got any plays for us?
I got one play. Cuddy said it's a dog. He said take it on the money line.
Oh.
For the people, we're playing it safe. Pittsburgh Penguins versus St. Louis Blues. He said, Cuddy, dog, underdog tonight. Put it in. I said, yeah, Cuddy. For the people, I'm going to take the +1.5 on -130. If you want to listen to Cuddy, he said 200 on the money line. Plus 200 on the money. That's what Cuddy said. He said, dogs, St. Louis Blues been looking good, though. Can't deny it.
At home.
I'm gonna take the 1.5 in my pocket. Cuddy hits the +200 on the money line. That means I hit the +130, the -130 as well.
All right, kid, I see you. I'm gonna touch that game in just a little, but first game I got Boston Bruins and Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens big favorites here at home, -200, +179 for the Boston Bruins. I have no doubt the Canadiens are gonna win. They're the better team this year. But instead, I'm gonna take them in regulation, meaning they have to win after the 3 periods, after 60 minutes. If they go to overtime, my bet doesn't win. So Canadians in regulation at -125. We get that down. Over 1.5 goals in that first period. I mean, games involving the Canadians, they've cashed the first period over in 9 straight and 10 out of its last 11 games. So over 1.5 first period goals is at -122. I like that. We're going to go to that Pittsburgh Penguin game and the St. Louis Blues. I agree. Give me the Penguins +201. I'll take them on the money line. I agree with Cuddy. I think this is a good play. Give me Sidney Crosby anytime goal scorer. You could get that at +200. He has goals in back-to-back games and 8 straight goals in his last 10 games. So he's on fire right now. So getting +200 for anytime goal, I think that is a steal. And then last game, a little later in the night, we will go to Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Knights, they are hosting the Winnipeg Jets. Golden Knights -152 on the money line, +135 for the Winnipeg Jets. And total is at 5.5. I'm going to take the Vegas team total over 3.5. I like the over 5.5 as well. Jack Eichel, I mean, this guy is fucking fantastic. I'll take him anytime goal scorer as well at +170. And I do think Vegas is the right side. -152 on the money line, I think is a fair play as well. So I like Vegas Golden Knights to get the job done here at home. Kid, let's end it on the gridiron. We will go to the UFL. Kid, it was such a great week for us last week, and we should have round robined it. We should not have gotten greedy. I got greedy. I parlayed it. And of course, the one team that, three-peated, who would have thought they would have lost to the DC Defenders? But we got 1 game here on Friday and then 3 Sundays. Smart. They're not going up against the Final Four. Smart this time. But the Friday game is the Birmingham Stallions and the Michigan Panthers. This is a good game in Michigan. -130 for the Stallions. -1.5, +110 for the Panthers. Total is at 38.5. Do we get a bounce back here from the Stallions, kid?
I think we see a bounce back here, but I'm going to just stay away from the game. I think we saw Michigan, huge pick 6 as well last week. It's going to be hard to back Michigan this week because I feel like they overplayed a little bit last week, especially defensively. The Stallions, we saw their offense, let's just say, stall out last week. I did not expect only 11 points from the 2-time defending champs. I do expect their offense to tick up just a little bit, but after what I saw last week, though, I'm not sure if I'm going to go that way. I'm going to just stay away, but heavy lean -125 on the Stallions.
Yeah, the Stallions haven't lost back-to-back games since 2022 when they debuted. And, the Panthers are a good team. They have a good defense. And, I think most of it came on offense. Most of the problems from Birmingham last week was on offense. They did not look good. They got a lot of pressure on Alex Magoo. He failed to complete any of his second half passes. That was crazy. He got sacked 7 times. I guess the big question is, can Michigan generate the same pressure? Panthers, they did sack Memphis's quarterback just 3 times in the season opener, and they have some experience, but it's still hard in my heart of hearts to bet against Skip Holtz and the Stallions. I'm going to take the Stallions here on the money line at -130. I think they are the better team here, so I don't think they lose back-to-back. There's just too much offense, and I think Skip Holtz will clean up some things here going into week 2. Let's go to Sunday. Let's go to – or do we have a Saturday game? Yeah, we actually have a Saturday game. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said 3 on Sunday. A Saturday game, 8 p.m. DC Defenders laying 7.5 +1, plus 310 for Memphis. -400 for DC Defenders. Total is at 37. Now, I know, huge win for DC, but now to lay 7.5 points is crazy. I'm sorry.
I know it's a little crazy, but what did Memphis show you last week that they're going to cover this? Nothing. These DC showed you they could defend the defending champs, and offensively, they showed up a little bit. Give me the Defenders at home -7.5. I'll even lay the 8. I just didn't see enough of Memphis to show me they could be able to cover this number. In my opinion, I think DC at least wins by double digits. I'll be surprised if Memphis keep it close, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, they were bad. They were bad last year. 2-9 in 11 games, the Showboats. I don't think they're going to be total pushovers this season. I think they played the Panthers a little tighter than the final score indicated. They punted late. EJ Perry threw a pick 6 that ultimately led to Michigan's last score that kind of had them cover that game. And I don't know. I thought Troy Williams, I thought he was pretty good. 18 for 28, 178 yards, 1 touchdown. He did have the 2 picks, but if he could cut down on the interceptions, I think he could keep it to a 1 score. Obviously, that's easier said than done. And DC, they did just limit the Stallions to 11 points, 8 sacks. So maybe their defense is flying around. I just can't lay the 7.5. I just can't do it. I'd be more inclined to take the plus 7.5 here with Memphis. I don't think there'll be total pushovers here. So I'm actually going to take the 7.5 with Memphis. Let's go to your Houston Roughnecks. Sunday now, 12 p.m. noon. On the East Coast, they are on the road taking on Arlington Renegades. Renegades laying 10 here at home. Total is at 39. If you want to take Houston plus 350, how do you see your Roughnecks doing here?
Not that good. You got to stop saying you're Roughneck still. But
it's the truth.
It's the truth. In the Battle of Texas, Dill, I'm not going to lay the number with Arlington. I do expect them to win, maybe by a touchdown, maybe by 9, maybe by 6, 7, 8. Who knows? Give me the under 39. That's the play here, people. I don't expect either offense to, show out. Maybe if they get a pick 6 or something like that, it's going to be entertaining. But I see Arlington score around 17-20, and I see Houston putting up 10-12 max. Give me the under 39. And that's the game.
Yeah, I could see an under here. I just don't see. I'm going to lay the 10. I know it's a huge number, but it's hard to have any confidence in the Roughnecks after they were trashed by the Battlehawks, St. Louis. They allowed 273 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. Guy threw for Manny Wilkins. I think that's the quarterback's name. He threw for 189 yards. Renegades, Wade Phillips, shout out Wade Phillips. He coaches the defense as well. I just don't see. The only question is whether the Roughnecks will score enough points. That is my problem to hit the over. I don't think they do, which is why I like the under. I see a 27 10 27-7 game. I just think the Renegades kill them here. I'll lay the 10 here with the Renegades at home. And then the last game, we have St. Louis Battlehawks hosting the San Antonio Brahmas. Battlehawks laying 8 here at home, -350 on the money line, plus 275 for the Brahmas. Total is at 39.5. Shout out AJ McCarron. post AJ McCarron era, I still like the Battlehawks here. I think they could cover this 7. Last year's version of the Brahmas, I thought they would have been a better team than what we saw here in week 1. San Antonio, they were gashed, like I just said, on the ground. Luis Perez, he was 20 for 25. He got anything he wanted. He did have the 1 interception, but outside of that, I just think St. Louis, they have the upper hand here in this fight, and I think they have the better offensive line. I just think they're going to dominate the line of attack against Houston. So 24-10, I think they cover the 7, 8, whatever the number is. So, yeah, I'll lay the 8 here with St. Louis. I'm going chalky this week.
Nah, I respect it, though. This was another tough stay away for me. I'm with St. Louis. I do think they win this game, but I also do think they win by a touchdown. I'm not trying to go out there and just get my money back, Dill. I do. If I had to come on down to it, I'll lay the 7 with St. Louis. It's just tough to come down on it. If anything, if I could get a teaser, I'm gonna see if I can put a teaser in. If we could get a teaser to get the Brahmas to get to 4 plus 4.5 and St. Louis down to -1, that'll be the play.
All right, kid. Well, thank you. Good luck. Let's hopefully, even if we all go 3-1 again here for week 2, that is a very profitable week here. But kid, we got a lot. We gave a lot of picks between UFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, Final Four. We got a loaded weekend of action. Any big plans, or you're just gonna stay home, keep it low key this week?
Just keep it low key. Go to the garage. Do the rear disc conversion, front spindle swap. Do a few things on the Civic, and then hopefully make some money, Dill. So it pays. All the parts pay for themselves. All the work pays for itself.
Yes. Well, good luck, everyone. Hopefully you get that car fixed, and it's all through gambling. But good luck. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you.